So I wanted to get the spoiler talk out now because I wanted to get it out because these are not short videos. So I wanted to get the spoiler talk out now. Also, I felt kind of bad for some of the things I said in my actual review. So now we're doing spoiler review. Solid spoiler warning for those of you who haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. Go check it out right now. I'm assuming a lot of you probably already have seen it, but for those of you who haven't seen it, this video is going to be having lots of spoilers in it. Alright, I'll talk about it. So the movie opens up with a scene where Hank Pym is reversing back to the times where his mother was what? We go to the time when Hank Pym and his wife went down to that plane, then she had to go into the quantum realm, and Ant-Man even already tried to go into the quantum realm. He couldn't do it. So then his wife did it, and then it shows that. Sorry, I'm really tired right now. Alright, then we see that you know that technology now that's kind of like the special effects of CGI that you can make someone old seem young now. That's getting pretty good. Because assuming if I'm getting this name right, Michael Douglas, I believe, plays Hank Pym. They did pretty good making him look young. They did good in the first Ant-Man, did good in this one. And then we see that then we go to the time and then we see the Marvel logo. Dun, 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 dun. That logo is just awesome. It's a minute long, but it's awesome. And then we see that Scott Lang has been in prison. No, he's been house arrest for a while, and he's helping out his daughter. I also forgot to mention that Hank Pym and Hope Pym are now like, hey, why don't we create this device that'll let us go to the quantum realm? Wouldn't that be cool? To find your mom, because she's probably down there. So Scott came back. Why can't you? Then we show Scott having fun with his daughter. Yeah, then we got Michael Pena there too. Yeah, fun. Michael Pena's cracking jokes every second. Come on, it's Michael Pena. You expect more than that? Good, you don't. And then Scott Lang and his daughter, their relationship's pretty cool in this movie. And I guess Michael Pena is building a company. Alright. Then it shows that Scott Lang has 3 days left of house arrest, so he just does random things. He reads The Fault of Our Stars, I believe, or The Stars of Our Fault, and he's reading it, and then he likes weeping through it. I found that book was pretty funny. Also, he's learning magic, and every time he does it, the other guy just goes, "How did you do that?" Also, his wife, I guess, is divorced wives in this movie, and I really like how she in this movie, they could have just directed her as this huge jerk. No, she's like complete friends with Scott. And her husband. They were not Scott and his divorce. Scott and his divorced wife's husband weren't very good friends. Now they are friends. I like that. It shows evolution. Then next we see that wait a minute. Then Scott has a vision about Hope Pym's mother. I'm just gonna call her that for now. And she's like trying to find. She's like playing hide and seek with Hope, and then she like finds her in a closet or wardrobe, I guess. And then Scott just calls him, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I think I saw your wife in the quantum realm. Just saying." Then he's knocked out by an ant, and then he wakes up in a van. When he woke up in that van, I was like, he's probably in a van with like Hope in it. Then they're driving the van, and all of a sudden, it's just like, wait, I'm gonna get arrested. I don't have my ankle brace on. And they just go like, don't worry. Don't worry. And then they just see a huge eye go to him. I was like, is that like a giant monster? And then we find out that they're actually really small right now. They go to Hank Pym's lab. They go inside, then Hank Pym and Hope Pym are explaining to him, like, here's what you did see. They're like, you saw our mom in the quantum realm. We need to know what you saw. We need to see if you can find the location. Then baddie number 1 comes in. The one bad guy, the crime boss. I'm completely forgetting his actor's name, but come on. So then we find out that she's getting the tech from him. Why, though? Do you know why? Because we need to have a connection between Hank Pym and this guy. We need one. So I guess the tech from him. Then we have an epic fight with Wasp just beating up everybody. Then Ghost comes in and starts beating up Wasp. So then Scott gets the suit on. He goes into the place. And then kicks the crap out of Ghost. Then him and the Wasp, I guess, leave because Ghost left. Also, when they're shooting the chandelier and the crime boss was like, no, don't shoot my chandelier. It's like, that thing on there is going to kill you all. Shoot at it. That kitchen scene was pretty great, though. And then one thing that Ghost does is she goes up to Hank Pym, puts her arm through him, and she just goes like, give me the lab. Then she takes the lab. Then they have to go find the lab, and they have to do all this technical research and stuff. They have to locate the lab. They have to do all this stuff. Because they need an old suit first. Don't know why, but they do need one. Conveniently enough, they need an old suit. That old suit is in the trophy for show and tell. Okay? Also, conveniently enough, his shrinking suit doesn't work. So he shrinks down to, like, the size, like, maybe this tall. He puts on that blue jacket. I was rolling in laughter in the theater. Like, he's just this little child. Like, he looks like a little child just walking around. And then, when he's, like, trying to grab the bag, he's just, like, jumping up. He couldn't reach it. Then he gets it. Then he gets the other suit. Then we go back to the van. They locate the lab through the regulator of the suit. Why, though? How does the regulator of a suit locate the lab? But it works, and they locate the lab. Then they get knocked out by Ghost. Then we find out that one guy, Lawrence Fishburne from earlier, well, he's a bad guy. Actually, I think that Ghost is the least bad guy of bad guys in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She's a bad guy. But I liked how in this movie, one person would say, like, she is the good guy in her eye. So when I say that, terrible excuse. Every villain thinks they're the good guy. Every single villain in cinematic history usually thinks they're the villain. Some think they're not, but most of them do. They think they're the good guy of the story because they think the thing they're going against is the bad guy. However, one thing you could say is that most of the time they're doing something really bad. Ghost, on the other hand, isn't really doing something so terrible. She really isn't. Like, I really like how her villain wasn't just like, destroy the world. It was instead like, I want to get my powers back. This woman that I really have no care about is coming back, and I need that. I'm sorry. I need to get my life back. So then you have to stop her. We learned that she was a CIA. She was a SHIELD assassin. I feel like they should have used like a different organization than SHIELD. It just feels like it's like desperate to connect to the rest of the cinematic universe. I think they should have used like maybe like just some other organization, any other organization. You could use the CIA. We didn't even know what the CIA does in our normal era. You could use the CIA. But nope, we chose SHIELD because they're in the rest of the universe. Which I'd be fine with if that didn't create plot holes. 1. Why did they send Ghost to go after Captain America? 2 assassins could go after him. You could have Bucky going after him, and Ghost. Why not? Actually, another reason why that maybe wouldn't have been the best idea is because Ghost is actually, like, probably around that time, 4 years ago now, she was, like, I would assume she's about 20, maybe 17 years old. She would be like my age back then. I don't think that that's a good way to hunt Captain America. So I think it's fine that they didn't do it. Just, it does create more plot holes. That suit is pretty great, though. And then Scott Lang, Hope Pym, and Hank Pym escape. They go put the lab in the woods, and then they start doing the transfer to go to the quantum realm. And then we get another funny scene. Scott Lang's like, Michael Pena's character, Louise, I believe, he's like, hey man, could you come over and fix this thing for us? And then he's like, I can't, I'm stuck helping Hank Pym and Hope Pym. And then he's like, okay, I'll come over to you. Then stupid crime lord boss comes in and he's just like, I want you to tell me where the lab is. And then he injects that truth serum into him, though. That truth serum, that's the next Why is Gamora. Every Marvel movie seems to have a joke that everybody remembers. It's like, the one from, Ragnarok would be like Korg. The one from, Black Panther is one of those! The one from Infinity War is Why is Gamora? And now the one from Ant-Man and the Wasp is Truth Serum. Anyway, the villain dude, the guy that's like really good at serum and stuff, he injects it into him, and then he's just very responsive to everything. So it's like, alright, how'd you meet Scott Lang? And then he like goes through the whole backstory. I love it when he does it, like, you have the salsa music playing in the background, and then he's just like explaining everything everybody's saying. We actually learned that they had like a love story. Scott Pym and Hope Pym had like a love story and stuff. That's interesting. He's all talking really fast, and he's like, I love those scenes so much. I'm laughing so hard because I'm like, yes, that was like the best part of the first Ant-Man. Yes! I was worried they were going to put the Stan Lee cameo back into there, but they didn't. Still, that's also the best Stan Lee cameo in my opinion. I just didn't want them to do it twice. They didn't. Yay! And then, Scott Lang and Hope Pym, yeah. Alright, so Michael Pena is like, he reveals their whole location. He's like, yeah, they're actually in the middle of the woods, because he like aims a gun at him or something. Oh, no, Ghost comes in, he like, is about to do that, and then he's just like, they're in the middle of the woods. Then, legit, there's a scene earlier where, that one guy's working for him, I don't remember his actor's name or his actual character's name, but he's working for him and he keeps calling Ghost Baba Yaga. And then when she comes in, he like just starts singing a tune. That's pretty great. I say that a lot. You wondering what greet means? Greet means great in a different way. It means great. Then, let's see, Michael Pena, like, then, Hope Pym's, I'm just gonna call Hank Pym's wife sends a message into, Scott Lang's head, and he's, like, typing out everything. He's, like, he is her right now, I guess. And then I love that whole part, because he's, like, holding hands with them, like, kissing Hope on the head. Then we find out, like, what's happening, and then Scott Lang just wakes up, and he just, like, holds up him holding, Hank Pym's hand. Pretty funny. Again, then they need to find a location of Hank Pym's wife. Then the government comes, because, you know, they gotta leave. The government's there. And then they arrest both of Hank Pym and Scott Pym. Or Scott Pym and Hope Pym and Hank Pym. Scott Pym is back at his house because he needs to be there right now. House arrest. Then one of the criminal agents takes the lab and drives away with it. Then Hope Pym and Hank Pym escape from jail thanks to Scott Pym. Nice. Scott helps them after the influence of his daughter be like, you should help them. So then they go out. Then they need to save the day. Then they have that big car chase. They take the lab from the crime boss. Then they go and they do that action scene and everything. Then I believe Ant-Man grows big to get the lab. He like takes it off the boat from him. Then we lose the lab because Ghost got it. Ghost gets the lab. She starts doing the transformation. As Hank Pym went into the quantum realm to find her, he finds her and she has like this cloak. The wings like sticking out and she has like the mask on, so that's pretty cool. They take her and alright, I have one question. How did she live in the quantum realm for 30 years? No one's asked this. But food? I guess there's food there or something. They go to the quantum realm. They leave the quantum realm. And then as they're going back to the mainland, going back to the main world, they end up going in. Then Ant-Man saves the Wasp. Slow motion. The cart drives in. It stops. Then Hank Pym and his wife come out of the car. And then for some reason, Hank Pym's wife just goes up to Ghost and she's like, "You're hurting. Here. You're fixed." You gotta explain that, right? Nope, never explain this movie. They just do it. It happens. Never explained. I find that quite dumb. I found that quite lazy, actually. Explain it, please. Then Ghost is fixed. Ghost leaves with Lawrence Fishburne. Then, yay, family reunion and stuff. The cops are on their way, but thankfully they are stopped because they caught the crime lord boss. Hopefully we never have to see that idiot again. Happy ending, yay! Everybody's happy, yay! Alright, so now I'm gonna talk about that post-credit scene. Because it's a spoiler review. In the post-credit scene, what's his name? Scott Pym into the quantum realm to get some healing things for Ghost. I thought she was already healed, but whatever. He's like getting it, and then Hank Pym, Hope Pym, and his wife are like, "Alright, we're gonna send you back in 3, 2, and then Scott Pym's like, "Haha, guys, very funny. Now send me back up, guys." We cut up to them there, and then there's just ashes, flakes falling. At the size of a human, just falling down. Uh-oh! Hank Pym, Hope Pym, and Scott Pym were killed. Or not Scott Pym. Why do I keep calling him that? Hank Pym and Hope Pym and his wife were killed by the snap. Now I'm in stuck in the quantum realm. Okay. Second post-credit scene. I waited through the whole credits. We just see that and just done. That's it. That's it. You don't need to stay for the second post-credit scene. Just saying. One detail I didn't notice in the post-credit scenes, you can see on the TV, there's like an alert going on, probably from like the government, like, "Hey, half of us are dust now. So, yeah, if you guys turn to dust, there's a good reason." Some dude with a purple lined up chin killed half of us. Actually, I thought the Wasp was gonna die in the post-credit scene because I remember you see in Infinity War Part 2 that had a poster for it, and Ant-Man's there, not the Wasp, but only Ant-Man. So I thought that was like thinking like I think the Wasp is gonna do it. Didn't think Hank Pym and his wife were gonna be gone. First post-credit scene, huge. Second post-credit scene, lame. And it was disappointing. The second post-credit scene was really disappointing. But not in the way that went on Spider-Man Homecoming. But it wasn't like that lame. It was like lame on a new level. Because I might have sounded really negative on my Ant-Man and the Wasp review, but I really genuinely liked this movie. I genuinely really liked this movie. I had a really good time watching it. I just didn't love all the plot things that happened. But now I've let it settle in overnight. I felt like I was a bit too rough on my last review. It's not like the rating went up. I still think it's an 8 out of 10. But I do think that my overall opinion went up the way it stated. Because I said that I had a lot of problems with the plot. I actually really enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp. In fact, I still think it deserves that 8. Still a great movie. Alright, what do you guys think on Ant-Man and the Wasp? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. Guys, to do one other big video. You know what that is? That's ranking all the MCU. See you guys next time.